This is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today I have a very special treat for you. What we're going to juice today are one of my favorite tropical fruits. It's these guys right here. How many of you guys know what this is? These are called lychees, also called lychee. Lychee. And they are absolutely delicious. And let me go ahead and show you what these look like. Optimally, you want to pick them when they're nice and dark red like this. Here's one that's maybe not quite as ripe. They should actually be a nice dark color red and a little bit soft to the touch. You don't want them too firm. That could mean they're bad. Also, you want to check to make sure that when you press on them, the skin basically gives. That the skin's hard, that means it's kind of like not too good. One of the tricks of these is if you can buy them on the vine or attached to the branch, then buy them on the branch. They're going to stay fresher longer. These actually happen to go bad fairly quickly once they have been picked. And these are also very hard to find. These are grown in tropical climates, and in the United States they're grown in Florida and Hawaii. These ones happen to be from Mexico. They also import them into the USA from China, but I prefer these Mexican ones. So on these guys, the real simple, easy way to eat them is to take the lychee nut, and I like to stick my nail in there and just peel off the covering here, and then you could very simply peel off half of that and then just pop it in your mouth. And you'll be left with the shell. Be careful not to chew too hard, because if you do, you're going to bite into this nut here. This nut will make it very bitter if you bite into this nut, so don't advise doing that. So now let's go ahead and talk about some of the lychee nutrition and why these things are so good. And here, I could grab a handful here. Just this handful right here that I'm holding in my hand, 9 lychee nuts give you 100% of your US RDA in vitamin C. I mean, that's not a lot of lychee. So these things are really high in vitamin C. Some of the minerals they're high in are copper, phosphorus, and potassium. And these guys hail from China. And actually in the imperial days of China, these were a delicacy. And they'd have these basically shipped long distances so that the kings and queens can eat them. But now you guys can eat them if you live in a tropical location or if you have an Asian market, because that's where they often are sold. If I had to explain how these tasted with you've never tasted these before, I could say they vaguely taste like a grape, but they're so much different and the flavor is so much different than a grape. They're like 10 times sweeter. And also, they have more polyphenols than grapes. So much like other fruits, they're also high in antioxidants, which are really good for us. So these are subtropical trees, and they're evergreen trees. I love evergreen trees. So subtropical means, you know, if you don't live in a place like Florida or Hawaii, you won't really be able to grow these. Maybe in Southern California if you like shade it out and, you know, give it some protection during the winter. But these guys don't like frost. So as much fun and as delicious as lychees taste, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna juice some lychees. Now, in general, I don't recommend you juice your fruits. I recommend that you blend your fruits or eat them whole. These guys run about $5 a pound actually in the shell. So when you take off the shell and the seed, you know, they weigh a lot less. So these are quite expensive, much like other fruits, you know. For example, juicing blueberries, in my opinion, are a waste. Blueberries are very expensive to buy, and when you juice them, you get like that much juice. So it's much better to blend your fruits instead of juicing. Another reason why it's better to blend than juice is because when you blend them, you get the sugar, the fiber, and the whole kit and caboodle in there. And what the fiber does in the fruits when you either eat it whole or blend it, it slows down the absorption of the sugar into your bloodstream. So I think that's definitely a good thing. But of course, you know, making fresh lychee juice is definitely better than buying it in a can or drinking a soda or anything like that. So once again, freshest is always bestest, and you want the freshest and highest quality food as possible. We have a whole bunch of extra lychees today, so I thought I'd show you how the Omega Vert 330 HD does juicing these lychees. So most juicers will not juice fruits that well. Most juicers have been designed to juice hard vegetables such as carrots, for example, and other juicers are designed to juice things like, you know, leafy green vegetables that are really nutritious and good for us to be drinking. But not a lot of juicers juice fruits that well. And that the main problem with that is because of the consistency of the fruits. For example, a carrot is nice and hard. And these guys right here, I mean, these guys are nice, soft, mushy, and squishy. So for things that are nice, soft, mushy, and squishy, juicers tend to not juice them that well. And that's why it's better to blend them or eat them whole so that you get all the benefit out of those fruits. That being said, of all the juicers I've tested in general, the Omega Vert 330 HD is actually one of the most efficient electric juicers that you can use for juicing fruits. So let's go ahead and turn the juicer on and juice up some lychees. We have approximately 2 cups of peeled and pitted lychees. Alright, man, this is going to be like the world's sweetest juice next to sugarcane juice. This stuff's going to be absolutely insane. You could see we're putting them in there, and you could already see the lychee juice coming out. Man, that stuff looks like just like milk, actually. Man, this stuff's going to be insane. So once again, when using the Omega Vert 330 HD juicer, you want to feed in only a little bit of produce at the time. You don't want to just dump everything in there. You need to give the juicer some time to work so it can work most effectively. If you start cramming things in there, it'll start to get backed up on you, and that's not a good thing. So you can see the lychee pulp coming out of the juicer. Let's go ahead and put some more lychee in there. Man, this is going to be insane. So oftentimes they sell lychee like drinks or lychee juices in stores, but oftentimes they add like chemicals, preservatives, and extra sugar to them. You know, if you have your own juicer, you can make your own fresh lychee juice and other tropical fruit juices, you know, that you probably can't buy anywhere else. You can make some rambutan juice or longan juice, which are very similar to lychee, but they have a totally different flavor, and I love those tropical fruits too. Let's go ahead and pour some more in there. This looks like it's working very well. It's squeezing out all the lychee juice, and the pulp is coming out as well. We're not getting backed up or anything. Alright, so there it is. That's all our lychee put into the Omega Vert juicer, and check it out, all the pulp is coming out. Let me catch some of this pulp here. I mean, literally what the juicer is doing, it's literally wringing out all the juice out of the fiber, and here it is. I mean, this stuff is fairly dry. I'm actually quite amazed on how dry this pulp is. But if you want to make sure you get it all, you can put the pulp back into the machine, as we will do. But be aware, if you do that on fruits and vegetables, you might get extra fiber in the juice, and it might actually back up your machine. So in most cases, I actually don't recommend it. But in this case, we're going to try it and see what happens. Alright, so we wrang all our lychee pulp back through the machine to get a second pressing. Looks like it's working fine. All the juice pretty much stopped flowing out. We're going to go ahead and turn that off. And let's see how much 2 cups of the lychee fruits made in the juice. We're going to like to tip that up, get the last couple of drips out, and pour this in our measuring. Oh man, that thing is so like nice, white, and milky. Man, this yielded so much. So this was like 2, you know, unpacked cups of the lychee fruit. So we didn't like cram it in there, just 2 loose cups. And man, it made about almost a cup and a half of the last fresh lychee juice. Now, I've never had this before in my entire life, and I can only imagine this is going to taste insane, so I'll go ahead and try this for you guys and let you know what it tastes like. Oh my god, that's insane. So if you ever had sugarcane juice, this is the juice that tastes almost as sweet as sugarcane juice. And actually, I like it a lot more. It's actually smooth and has a nice lychee flavor. It's absolutely insane. Oh my god, this is so good. This is the world's first. I'll probably never make lychee juice again because I love to eat the lychees. But man, this juice is incredible. This would be an excellent substitute for actually using it in recipes to make your recipes taste sweet instead of sugar. Use real and fresh juiced fruits. So hopefully you've enjoyed this episode learning about how the Omega Vert 330 HD does juicing lychees. It does a fabulous job, and this stuff is fabulously delicious. So once again, this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.